Good morning, everyone. Since it's already 8:30 in the morning, let's officially start the meeting. Mr. Saleh, kindly take note of the absentees and document the meeting proceedings. So before we delve into the agendas, I'd like to congratulate all of you for successfully completing the necessary paperwork for our upcoming outreach program. The documents assigned to all of you during the previous meeting have been signed, allowing us to proceed with the program at the end of the month. So there are no more additional requirements, and I really appreciate your hard work. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so moving on to today's agenda, we have three items to discuss. Agenda 1, identification of problems encountered within the current setup. Agenda 2, formulation of actions to resolve the issue. And Agenda 3, delegation of tasks to resolve the issue. So to provide context for our discussions today, Mr. Alkuino will take over to explain the existing health protocols in the office due to COVID-19.
Good morning, everyone. As we are aware, our company has implemented strict measures that all employees must follow. First, it is mandatory to wear masks upon entering the workplace, along with regular health checkups and enhanced cleaning protocols. Second, the company has mandated remote work for all employees, allowing on-site access only for crucial matters, requiring a signed entry slip from the department head and company secretary. And lastly, virtual meetings are encouraged to limit physical contact. However, some employees have raised concerns about the strict measures, noting that other companies are easing restrictions for in-person work experience. And this leads to the question, should the practice of health protocol in the office due to COVID-19 be relaxed to give employees a chance for human engagement?
Thank you, Mr. Alcuino. So on to our first agenda, I'd like each of you to share any problems you have encountered within the current setup, both on a personal level and within your respective departments. Mr. Saleh, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Sampang. For the problems encountered, I have collected the responses of the employees in my department, and with that, I have found similarities in our concern. The communications department and I raised that the strict implementation of health protocol could possibly limit collaboration among employees and head or managers alike. This can adversely affect the employees' well-being and their overall productivity in the workplace. Consequently, it can be detrimental to the company's success or specific target goals. Moreover, as our department deals with communicating with other people, limiting physical interaction hinders effective communication with colleagues. There might be instances where some employees will be unable to ask questions or provide feedback online, and some feel more engaged and connected to other employees through in-person interactions, which is difficult to replicate in video calls. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. The communications department is greatly affected by this setup, as well as other departments. And I agree that in-person work makes you feel more connected with your coworkers. How about you, Mr. Alpuino?
For my department, the sales department, and regarding my observations on this matter, the primary concern is that wearing a mask is a hindrance for workers, especially when interacting with their office mates. There is no good circulation of air when you have a mask, and it can affect your performance at work. Moreover, as we are responsible for selling the company's products to consumers, having face-to-face interactions is more preferred to properly convince customers. This way, they can see our body language and emotions, which can contribute to persuading consumers to buy our products.
I share the same sentiments about the masks. And when it comes to the sales department, it is indeed true that face-to-face interactions are crucial for collaboration in convincing consumers through showing your body language and facial expressions. So anyway, on my part, what I have encountered and noticed as a problem with the current setup is that working remotely leads to being less motivated to do work because of more distractions at home, such as background noises like loud television or dogs barking outside. And this affects the working conditions of employees compared to having a silent and undistracting place inside the office where you can also be motivated by other people in the workplace. So in relation to this, we have Agenda 2, which involves formulating actions to resolve the issues raised in this meeting. And I would like to gather insights from each of you about the potential solutions to the problems discussed. So anyone is welcome to present their ideas and suggestions if you have any. Okay, Mr. Alkuino, please go ahead.
I propose implementing a no mask day to provide employees with freedom and having a designated mask day to ensure their safety. Additionally, we can establish parameters to avoid confusion among employees, and I also suggest incorporating at least one in-person workday per week for every department to foster collaboration and human engagement. Ultimately, helping employees stay focused and reduce distractions at home.
Thank you, Mr. Alcuino. Mr. Sale, please go ahead.
In my view, I suggest that the company mandate that all employees be fully vaccinated to ease or somehow moderately implement health protocols. Alternative to this, we can divide areas of the office into those with strict and less strict implementation of health protocols. We can designate a specific time and disinfected areas where employees can engage in conversations or collaborate. This is similar to the Japanese approach where there is a designated time for a meeting focused on feedback and engagement. During this time, health protocols can be less strict, assuming employees follow guidelines, of course, for cleaning and disinfecting shared spaces. Also, I recommend a gradual shift toward limited face-to-face work, such as allowing one on-site workday per week, just like what Mr. Alquino suggested, but of course, following all necessary safety measures like wearing face masks and temperature checks.
Thank you for all of your suggestions. And I would like to share my suggestions as well. First, consider relaxing face mask protocols, allowing their use only in indoor spaces while permitting employees not to use face masks in outdoor areas of the company. And second, we could allow at least meetings, if not all work, to be conducted on site to encourage collaboration and enable participants to observe body language and expressions to at least have a sense of belonging in the conversation rather than solely looking at the computer screens. So, are there any additional suggestions you'd like to propose?
Um,
Okay, so if there are no further suggestions, let's proceed to Agenda 3, the delegation of tasks. So to address the presented issues earlier and transform the shared suggestions into actionable solutions, we need to prepare the necessary documents. First, we must draft a letter to the board of directors explaining the highlighted issues and proposing solutions. I'll entrust this task to Mr. Sale. Is that okay with you?
yes, Ms. Sampang, duly noted.
Okay. And Mr. Alkuino, your assignment is to draft the budget resolution required for all expenses related to implementing the suggested plans. And you will collaborate with the head of the finance department, Mr. Liang. Is this manageable for you?
Yes, Miss Sampang, it is doable.
All right. So is it okay to complete the papers by Friday, November 17?
Yes, it's doable.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so please submit the papers to me on Friday and we'll have a meeting on Monday next week, November 20, for the finalization of the papers, necessary revisions, and to submit the documents to the signatories. So do you have any concerns or suggestions?
And so far in my department is Sampang.
Likewise, I have no more questions or suggestions.
Okay, so if there are no more concerns or questions, we can call it a day. Mr. Sale, kindly upload the minutes of the meeting to the drive folder for those absentees today to access. And thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting and begin working on your assigned tasks. And should you encounter difficulties or have questions, feel free to reach out. So that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you.